Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be filming a day in the life of a Fulbright Debate Coach. I did a week in the life video a few months ago and that was pretty popular, so I'll link it in the description box if anybody wants to see that. But because I've been getting more questions over LinkedIn and email about what exactly the Fulbright Debate Coach position looks like, I thought filming a video on just a day of that would be helpful. This is also my first day back after around a 10-day break, so I'll show you what it's like to go back to work. And I'll be focusing most of the narration about what I do as part of my job, but also be showing you a little bit outside of that, so what I do before and after work. It's currently noon and I just woke up. I'm going to be heading to work at around 2 because I'm teaching from 4 to 6:30 today, and then I'll head back. I'm going to Elon, which, if you want to see it on the map, is right here. So right now I'm in Taipei, and I head to Elon. It's one of my closer commutes. And I just have to take a bus there, so it should be pretty simple, but I have around 2 hours before I have to leave, so I'm going to do a few errands and show you all what that's like. So I hope you enjoy the video. So while I do my laundry and get ready to leave, I'll answer a common question I've gotten about the job, which is, what does the workload look like? So I teach at 5 schools, one for each day of the week, and between 2 and 4 hours every day. My coworker teaches at 7, but he also has a less intensive travel schedule to compensate because he teaches in Taipei a couple times a week and I never do. As you can tell from most of my videos, a large part of my job is taking public transportation around Taiwan, and one of the best ways I found that cuts down on that travel time is by renting an apartment near the HSR/bus station. I live a 15-minute walk away, and it's been so important in cutting down that travel time. Okay, it's around 12:45 and I just left my house. I'm heading to Taipei main station right now, which is where the bus to Elon leaves, and there's also a coffee shop there, so since I'm going to be there a bit early, I thought I would just sit at the coffee shop and do some work. Here you can see me walking to Taipei main station and editing a YouTube video at Luisa Coffee. I also had a coffee and a ginger pork rice burger for breakfast/lunch. I'm not sure what meal this is, and that was delicious. But anyways, the next question I've gotten a few times is, how advanced are the students? And that depends on the school. Sometimes there's even a big gap between students in each class, but for the most part you're teaching novice PF. The students are also ESL speakers. English is their second language, and debating in a second language is really challenging, so in general it's important to move slowly and simplify any of the debate concepts you introduce. Hello everyone, so I got off my bus at Elon and now I'm walking to my school, which is around 25 minutes away. Fulbright technically covers an Uber if I'd like to take that instead of walking, but I like walking and it's nice, especially after sitting on a bus and doing nothing for an hour and a half. The thing about taking the bus as opposed to the HSR is that it's hard to get work done because of motion sickness. Usually when I'm on the HSR, I'll read or do LSAT or edit videos or do anything else on my computer, but that's harder on the bus. So I'll usually just sit on the bus and listen to music, which isn't the worst thing, but sometimes I wish I could be a little more productive while I'm on the bus. Anyways, the plan for today's class is to judge 2 practice debates. This is one of my most advanced classes, and the students here qualified at a national tournament that I'll be judging this weekend. So they're doing a scrimmage against other students who qualified from a Taipei school that's going to be over Zoom. So I'll just be watching their Zoom meeting and then giving them in-person feedback. And because we're having 2 rounds, that means that I'm going to stay a little later than I usually would at this school. So I think I'll get out at around 6:30. But that's the update right now. It's actually a really nice day in Elon. It was sunny right before this cloud came into the sky, but it's one of the only days it hasn't rained here because it rains 300 out of 365 days a year, which is a lot. Hello! I just got out of work. It's a little past 6:30 and I think the students did super well on their practice debates. Like I said, or I think I said before, this is my most advanced class, so I'm hoping they do well at the national tournament this weekend. I'm feeling a little sick. I wasn't feeling amazing when I woke up this morning, but I think throughout the day I've developed more and more of a cold, so I was originally thinking of going to the gym this afternoon, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think tonight is the kind of night where I just stay in and order takeout and watch a movie or something along those lines, but I'll see how I feel when I get home. Right now I'm walking to the front of the school so I can catch my Uber because the teacher usually orders an Uber back to the bus station after class, so I'll be doing that and then taking the hour-and-a-half bus back to Taipei. Here I am getting back on my bus. The next question I'll answer is, how much freedom do you have over the curriculum? More than you'd expect. Some of the local teachers are more involved than others and have lesson plans they want you to follow. And it's especially true if they're prepping for the students to compete at specific tournaments. But for the most part, the curriculum is up to you. You'll get slideshows from debate coaches in the previous years, which helps with lesson planning. And you can also obviously use past materials that you prepared. Okay, I am now walking home and I ordered some Thai food on Foodpanda because I was craving that, so hopefully it arrives at the same time as I do. So now I'm arriving home, journaling, eating my dinner, and showering, and I'll answer one final question, which is the Fulbright stipend enough to cover your needs in Taiwan? The short answer is yes. I live a relatively comfortable lifestyle, and I've also traveled internationally 4 times this year. The only time I've been worried about money is when I first arrived here because my apartment required a 3-month rent deposit, and I also had a few high upfront costs that are just natural every time you move. So there are a few points in those months where I was living off my savings, but I'm at least going to get the deposit money back, and then after the first month or 2, you won't have to withdraw from savings as long as you stay up to date on your travel reimbursements, which I haven't done that, but if you do that, you won't have to live off your savings. So tonight I ended up being sicker than I expected, so I just watched a movie and eventually went to bed, but my evenings are usually more eventful than this. Sometimes I go to Zumba or Chinese class, or do LSAT prep with my roommate, or get dinner with my friends. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions for me, whether it's about Fulbright or Taiwan or anything else, just leave them in the comments because I'm thinking of making a Q&A video soon. So thanks for watching.